if one producer or one director is asking 10,000 actresses or actors for sexual favors and they say no, he will stop. But it's because one person has agreed. Then it's like, okay, maybe the rest of the bunch, they're like that. Guy, girl, if someone asks you to do something that is going to compromise your belief, compromise your stance, compromise your values, you say no.
My name is Adora.
We are live.
I would like to start my story from
Are
the
there
very
anybody
beginning.
online? Let me see. There are people online. Okay, we have one current viewer. I think that's me.
I'll make you happy very soon.
So, we're currently playing our Estelle Nneoma Onyekele. I'm so used to calling her Estelle, so it's difficult for me to change that name. So we're currently playing one of her trailers to one of her current videos that she was a part of called Caged. We have Estelle in the studio with us today. So we are all about welcoming creatives and, shining a light on some of their works and trying to see how we can also push it out there for other people to support them and know that we African creatives are actually going out there. So I hope you're enjoying the trailer that we are currently playing for you, and because I've seen it. I've seen like half of the video, but I haven't seen the whole thing yet. And I can tell you that it's one of those interesting short movies that you all need to see. So it's currently on YouTube. I'm going to be dropping the link on once we post this podcast, both on Spotify and on all our social media platforms. All right, that said, I want to welcome you guys to our second episode of Creative in Transit podcast. And today we have with me Estelle Nneoma Onyekele.
My goodness.
I'm wondering. I'm sorry.
Please, my name is Estelle.
Sorry.
Few people call me that.
Yeah.
Nneoma Onyekele. Not Onyekele.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nneoma. You've known me for how many years now?
How long have you known? Since 2012.
Exactly. It's almost over 10 years.
That's a long time ago. That's a really, really.
And you still don't know how to pronounce my surname or my
mean,
middle name.
No, it's spelled as pronounced.
No.
When you say Onyekele.
Not Kwele. There's no accent. There's no. Oh my goodness. You know what? Let's just keep that. I forgive you. I forgive you. It's fine.
Okay, so yeah, we have Nneoma. At least I pronounce Nneoma very well.
Nneoma.
Okay, sorry, Nneoma.
Exactly.
It means good mother.
Yeah.
I know the meaning of that name. It means good mother. So we have her currently in the studio. She's an actor or an actress. If you've seen a couple of short movies, you will have seen her there. She has acted a lot of movies. I can't really recall their names, but at least I know Caged. And
Do you know Lost?
oh no.
That's
I
okay.
told you to share trailer with me.
I'll share that later. Don't worry, I'll share that later.
Yeah, so it's not my fault. Please don't blame me. So we have her today with me. I pretty much had to. We've been postponing this podcast with Esther for a very long time. We're supposed to have done this like in last 2 months.
Yeah. July,
So,
actually, before July. Yeah, that's 2 months. You're right.
2 months.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months now that we've been postponing this particular podcast, which is, I hope, is as great as how we had to make a lot of you wait for our next episode. So I'm so honored to have her here with me.
Anna is smiling. Thank you.
So honored to have her here with me. So she's going to be sharing a couple of experiences as a Nollywood actor, and if it's something that you viewers out there, if you have a talent in acting, if it's something that you should think about going into, if it's something that is beneficial, if it's a business that you can venture into. So we're going to hear from her to know how or what she thinks about diving into Nollywood. So, Esther, please I'm tired of doing the introduction. I want you to do the introduction for us. Like, tell us what we need, what we don't know about you. I've told them your name, so just share something that we don't know about you yet.
All right. My name is Nneoma Onyekwele. Some people call me Estelle, like this beautiful lady right here. And that's because I was generally known as that until I decided to, dive into this industry, Nollywood. And I just wanted to brand myself as Nneoma. Yes. So I'm an actor, I'm a producer, I'm a budding director. I am also a videographer and photographer. Although I've not been pursuing my photography a lot. It's just basically me and my environment and my dog. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a scriptwriter too. Yeah. So it's like I'm a gen of all trades. But besides that, I am also a business optimizer because I work for Supreme Ventures, which is an agricultural based firm. So I'm a farmer.
Oh wow, she's a farmer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I'll explain why I have that also as a job later, maybe as the questions progress.
Okay.
So yeah.
We're coming back to the Supreme Farm. So
Supreme Meat Ventures,
Supreme,
yeah.
Okay, Supreme Ventures. We're going to come back to it. I mean, look at her. She's a farmer. Anybody can do farming.
Anybody actually, you should.
Can do farming.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into the questions now. I sent a lot of questions to her that I was going to ask her because I felt I want to utilize this opportunity to the fullest. I don't know when I'm going to have her in the studio again, so I want to make sure that I ask as much questions regarding Nollywood as possible, so that most of you who are thinking about venturing into Nollywood can also have idea on how it goes. So yeah, today is all about Nollywood for now. Maybe subsequently we are going to be moving around, but for today we are going to focus on Nollywood. So I know like a lot of people have experienced Nollywood movie one way or the other. Me growing up, I watched a lot of Nollywood movie and I can recall like some of them. I recall Living in Bondage. I recall Ijele. Did you watch Ijele?
Of course. Did you watch Isakaba?
Isakaba. All those periods we always did Odeshi.
Egg of life.
Egg of life.
Yeah.
Then Ikiru Sivanos.
A Cry for Help.
Cry for help. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Cry for that movie. Man.
Onome. It's a lot.
So there's a lot of Nollywood movies that have brought us over time. So subsequently we have more and more actors that are coming up. And the fact that we have actors coming up, it shows that it's a wonderful industry to
Yeah, it
actually
is.
dive into.
It is.
And the only way to be consistent and make sure that this is actually keep going and not die in the process is having to support the industry. Support the actors.
Yes. Watch the movies. Go to the cinema. Rent our movies on Prime Video if you have to. Netflix. Yeah.
That
YouTube.
we'll get to.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about you, because today's focus is on you, our beautiful farmer that is also an actress. So the focus is currently on you. We want to know like what's made you dive into
Acting.
Yeah, why? Like, what was through your experience? What decision?
The decision is a whole lot. There were a whole lot of decisions actually. I've always loved acting. Now I'm going to be that person that I say it has been a passion of mine. But there was a point in my life where I was conflicted. I had to decide if I wanted to be behind the camera or in front of it. But I'd always loved being in front of it. You can tell from my Uniben days, I've always been stage and all of that. Yeah, but after that, I couldn't, based on some personal reasons, I couldn't dive into acting the way I wanted to. So it was like, okay, I love the camera. All right, maybe I could just do photography, or maybe I could just do, videography on the side. But then moving to Lagos, the profession was just calling my name. Do you get? So I had to decide. I'm like, I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. Why not just do it? And then I said, okay, no, I'm going to do it. All the consequences, let that just be at the side. This is what I want. So I'm going to pursue it. And I'm also going to do whatever I want to do behind the camera as much as I can. And then, so that's it. I think the decision was just to be happy doing what I love to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So when you decided that you want to dive into the profession, did you just go into it, or you started learning with their classes?
Talent is one thing, but you also have to improve upon yourself, and sometimes you can't do that all by yourself. As much as you can learn online and all of that stuff, it's not it's not really going to prepare you for what this industry is like. So the first thing I had to do was, it was me saying I wanted to be an actor. I didn't know much people in Lagos then, and then it was like I was just an island. You need a network, so I had to go to film school. So first of all, I went to Royal Arts Academy in 2021. And then that helped. I met people. In fact, Caged was from the writer and the producer, even the director. Everybody on that set was from Royal Arts. I met everybody there from Royal Arts. We're all in film school at that particular time. So yeah, I had to go to film school, and then after Royal Arts, I had to. In the next year, that was 2022, which was last year, I went to Ebony Life Creative Academy, Elka.
Amazing.
Yes. So I got into Elka. It's not easy to get into Elka, as much as it's free. You also it's a rigorous process. So I'm just glad I got into Elka. So now I have a wider network of friends, of professionals, people who I can collaborate with or even be on their own projects. So film school is important because it builds you a network. I'm not saying you must. Some you have to pay.
Yeah.
That's like Royal Arts. I had to pay for it. But if you have the funds, I'd advise that you go to film school, because I look at my monologues from before film school, even from before Elka, and the difference is clear. Coaching. Shout out to my coach, Coach Dricos. Coaching is a very, very much important. So look at where I am now and look at where I was before. Nah. It's important. There's a huge difference.
So, film school, like I've like researched around film schools before this podcast, and I realized that they are quite expensive.
Yes.
Are you telling our listeners now that diving into film school is like this talent? Is it an expensive talent?
Film school is expensive.
Expensive.
See, no, there are some more affordable ones though. Royal Arts is quite affordable. I don't know if my tax bracket is different from other people's tax bracket. So what some people might call expensive. Some people would think Del York is not expensive. But okay, maybe I shouldn't be naming names. Yeah, okay, some film school are more expensive than some, and some are free. And free is because you're not paying money. Free means you're still going to pay your transportation and any of all those other costs. But your talent is the price you pay. So in film schools like Elka, sorry, I'm going to shout out Elka. Film schools like Elka Life Creative Academy is free. You're not paying any tuition. You get, but your talent is what gets you through the door. Especially for acting, guy. If you go for any audition, if the audition is for 10 o'clock, by 7 a.m. you've seen up to 300 people there to audition. It's crazy. It's like half of Lagos want to. So your talent. So imagine that the number of those people applying to get into that school, and it's free, like I said. So your talent is what gets you noticed even through the door, because as much as there are 300 people applying, they need only 15 people or 16 people in class. So you see, so if you can't go to film school because of the cost, you can learn online and then network, know someone else that can actually watch your monologues or your performances and give you review. Someone who's an actor, please. Yeah.
Talking about getting someone who is an actor who can review. Do you have like mentors who help you?
I have mentors, but my colleagues are sometimes when I do a monologue, I send to my friend Mide, my J, shout out. Yeah. So he watches my stuff and he gives me feedback. Sometimes he sends me his stuff, gives me feedback. When I write the script, I'm like, Mide, I want to know what you think about this. I send it to him and he reads, and we bounce off each other like that. But that's tricky too, because if you don't have somebody who can actually give you constructive criticism, it can deflate your drive to maybe want to make a post. Say you do a monologue and you say, oh, my friend, what's up? Check this out for me. And then they give you a review and you're like, I don't want to post anymore. I don't want to post. Yeah, at the beginning stage, I didn't do that because I can be easily deflated or discouraged because I'm very conscious about my work. So most times I'll be like, I'll just post it regardless. Then later I'll ask, okay, what do you think about that? Then you see, it's already out there. Then someone gives me a feedback. Then I take that into my next performance. Yeah.
So those criticism or critics are actually helping your
constructive criticism. Yes, not the ones that just want to say, you put your face like this and that monologue. Like, why are you always doing your eyes like this? Why are you always doing angry monologue? Why are you
Okay, so next question, sorry. Diving into film, like what we're talking about before,
Yeah.
quite expensive and all. For someone who doesn't really have, let's say, money, the person has the talent. You've mentioned how a lot of people want to go into film school, like the Elka what?
Ebony Life Creative Academy,
And the other
Elka.
one that is free. Okay, but
Yeah, that's it.
That's Elka. That is free, but it's competitive.
Yes.
Now, will you suggest like other niche for people who can't meet up with the fact that this one is competitive? The going to school academy is also quite expensive. Are there like other platforms that these people can explore?
I guess there's some platforms on YouTube. See, I can't remember. Okay, there's an Actors Playhouse. I think that's is a forum or a house by Stella Damasos. Yeah, so that they're on Instagram. You can join in, sign in. She gives free coaching. That's actually amazing. Like she gives free coaching. You send in monologues. She gives assignment. I don't know if it's still open. The assignment was really open. Stella Damasos. Yeah.
Who else remembers it? Oh my god.
Yeah, so she gives free coaching, so you can try to get into that. And then there's also some YouTube pages you can also watch. I did a whole lot of that before, because even getting into Elka, it was my second trial I got in. I didn't get in at first. So you see, so there's some other brushing ups you can do. And the most important thing is, as an actor or as an coming up quick like me, watch movies. Please. Movies, that's a Bible. It's like you want to be a lawyer and you're not reading textbooks, or you're not watching maybe shows that have to do with law, or you're not in a courtroom. You need to watch movies, a lot of movies. Watch movies, not just Nigerian movies. Yes, support Nollywood definitely, but also watch Hollywood. Also watch Bollywood if you can. Like, watch movies. It helps build characters, because if you except you want to be an actor that is going to be stereotyped, if you want to be versatile, you need to learn, watch different people. So when you have to play a character, you don't want to be the same in every film. You also want to bring in something different into every role you get. So you have a place to draw from, you have a well to draw from, and read books. There's so many books on acting. So before you gather the funds to go to film school, before you maybe get into anywhere, just inform yourself and go for auditions. Regardless, it's important. It's like going for a job interview. An audition is a job interview. You go for auditions.
I went for audition one time. I don't want to talk about
Tell me. Are you serious?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay,
I am not talking
we'll
about
talk about it off air.
Get off it. It's a story I don't want to relive, so I don't want to talk about it. So let's dive into it. We know you're not like Timini.
No, I'm sure.
Still in the
I'm
process.
coming up quick. Yes.
So we know you're still in the process. So let's say now that at least you've had a couple of experiences in the industry and you understand how things are done. Have there been situations where you don't get a role, even if you know you are good enough for that role? There have been situations like that, right?
Yes.
So how do you...
Oh, wow. First of all,
what causes it that you didn't get the role?
okay, the thing is, as much as I'm good for a role, there are also other people who can be good for that role.
Let's say you are the best at that role.
How would I know? Because I'm not in the room where the casting is done. So a lot of things go into play, because I've also been in a place where I've had to cast people, do you get? So can the person act? Yes. But does the person fit the character that the director or the vision the director has in their head? Do you get? Some directors want the character to be dark, and then you're fair, but you have the talent, but the story wants somebody who is dark skinned. And they won't tell you this. It will not be on the flyer for the audition, that except the one what's this lady's? Oh, I don't know, I can't remember her name. It's not Jadi Oshiberi, no. Lala Akindoju. She had an audition last year, and she specifically said, I want dark-skinned ladies. Do you get? So as you're going there, I have no business go there. So I didn't go.
You see dark skin last
Skinny people there, do you get? But that's a special audition. Most of these auditions, you just put it out there. They don't let you know who they're looking for. So you go for the audition, but then you wouldn't hear back sometimes, because these people are the people behind the scenes. They know what they want. So everything is just, it's like lotto. It's like you're playing the ballad or something. You just go. It's like just put yourself out there because you don't know what they're looking for. It's on special occasions you actually know who these people want. So situations where I know I've been fit for a role, yes, and I didn't get, yes. How did I handle it? The first time it happened, I cried myself to sleep. I'm not going to lie. See, when I got the news, I just looked at my phone. I sat on the floor and I cried. I'm not, because I wanted it. Yeah. Do you get? So I cried. My eyes were red. After crying, I just maintained. And then that's it. But some other times, I think as you go further, you get used to the rejection. And then it's like, oh, this shit. So now, if that happens to me, I won't cry anymore. I feel sad, but I won't cry. I'll move on.
Can you remember how many times you've been rejected so far?
See, in this profession, you're going to be rejected 1,001 times. Because, see, oh my goodness, the amount of talented people that are in this profession, it's not easy. In this industry, it's crazy. Do you get? So, even I listen to interviews from maybe Denzel Washington, and then he says that there's 1,000 no's before you get the right yes. So it's like, and he said you have to get used to no. That's the thing. You have to get used to hearing no's, and then being confident or being satisfied in what is yours is yours. So as much as you hear no while you move to the next door, you knock, one door will definitely open.
I'm going to
right. And before that door opens, look out for collaboration. Some people just want to collaborate. Means that you give your services for free. Look out for collaborations. Do it. Gather your friends. Do it for free for yourself. You get put yourself out there. So
okay, so there's this belief that a lot of, I think it happens not only in Nollywood but in Hollywood as well. But since we are focusing on Nollywood, right? There's this story that goes around that before you land a major role, you have to do something with producers or directors.
Oh, like sexual favors?
Yes, favors, yeah, for directors and producers. Have you ever encountered it as an upcoming?
No, I have not. But I know I've heard of it happen. But it's not as rampant as it used to be in those days anymore. There was a time it was a thing before my time. I know there are some people who are still like that, sadly, but it's not rampant based on my knowledge. Do you get? Let me just speak from my experiences. Okay. Do you get? The only time I've heard of such thing happen was in 2021. Yeah. So since then, I've not heard any of it. But this industry, social media, there was a time something came up, this kind of gist came up, and some people called out some certain people in the industry. But me, Estelle, Nneoma, I've not encountered it. My close friends who are also in this industry, they have not, except they have not told me. I'm not saying it's not a thing. Of course, it's a thing with the whole Me Too movement in Hollywood and all of that. Hey, so it's a thing, but I have not encountered it. But saying but it's not the majority of the cases. It's like saying there's a bad egg among 1,000 eggs. Yeah, but bad things, once you put a bad egg, let's say you even break 10 eggs and put one bad egg in, that 10 eggs is spoiled. You can't fry it, you can't cook it, you can't eat it. So it's just maybe it's just one in a bunch. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things. I know it happens, but it's not the general case, because I've been on other sets, except people hide this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like, a lot of people get discouraged into going into it. You hear somebody be like, oh, I want to go into acting. Then you hear somebody go, oh, you want to go into acting? Do you know what those people do? All those kind of things. Yeah. So we need people who, out of the maybe hundreds of people or thousands of people that are telling stories about directors and producers asking for sexual favors, we should also have people who have not actually experienced
this speak out.
To encourage other emerging
it's not all, but then it's like saying do you want to be what profession do you want to be? A soldier? Do you know people who do soldier, they die or something because they go out in the battlefield, then you will not go, you will not follow your passion. It's like saying do you know that the risk of people dying the risk of survival on an air crash is slim, but it's better if you're on the road, at least you have a chance of survival, so you will not fly. There are risks. to every, there's a side, there's always a negative. There's as much as there's a positive, there's a negative. So if you choose to dwell on the negative, that's on you. See, there are people who they've asked for sexual favors in return for roles, and they walked out. They didn't make them smaller.
Walk out if they ask you for
Walk
sex.
out. It's desperation that makes people do these things. If one producer or one director is asking 10,000 actresses or actors for sexual favors and they say no, he will stop. But it's because one person has agreed. Then it's like, okay, maybe the rest of the bunch, they're like that. Guy, girl, if someone asks you to do something that is going to compromise your belief, compromise your stance, compromise your values, you say no. It's not worth it. It's like asking you to pay for a role. You know that people ask you to pay for roles, right? Let's even forget sexual favors. Do you want this role? Oh yeah, this is how much you will pay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my. You pay for anything?
No, for what? No. It's like saying, okay, do you want this job in road safety? Bring money, we'll run it for you. It's not special to Nollywood.
Yeah.
It's not special to Nollywood.
Okay.
Let's just
So
get it out there.
that shouldn't discourage,
Don't deter you, exactly.
That shouldn't discourage upcoming actors. You're still in the process. Just know that there are some things you can stand up to.
Stand up.
It takes a while before you hit the nail, or it takes a while before you get that role that you desperately want.
That's the problem. Desperation. That's the thing. If you're desperate for anything, you'll fall for anything. Because what do you want? To be in movies, to be on billboards, and then I want to. It's easy for you to make a mistake when you're desperate. Don't be desperate. Things you get when you're desperate for it won't last. Don't be desperate. Take your time. Take your time. That's all. Then you go trick like it's one chance. So don't come and cry on social media. Oh, they did this, but you okay.
But you put yourself in that.
But you put yourself, so
situation.
don't be desperate. Don't be
Okay.
desperate.
So we know that most Nollywood actors, or let me say Nollywood movies,
Excuse me.
the ones we can remember Aki and Popo, we remember Pesheto Zoko, The Wicked Stepmother, we remember Inky Receivers, how she was always crying a lot. Stereotype, yeah. So those roles, I think people or viewers tend to enjoy movies like that. You get. So have you been in a situation whereby you have to compromise? Maybe you already have like an idea of the kind of movies you want to act, but because you are still like very new,
Upcoming, yeah.
so did you just take up any role, or you are very selective about your roles?
See, that's a very important question, and I found myself asking that question in 2021, actually in Royal Arts, actually. So you see, there are benefits to. You're asking about stereotypes, right?
Yes, because let me start with, okay, there's this, I'm trying to remember the Nigerian movie that I saw, that one of the scene, the actor was telling the other girl in the movie that he took her to place like Idumota where they sell movies.
Okay.
And they were like, there's this public place where people view like public movies and everything, and people were laughing. So he said this is the kind of movie he creates because this is the kind of movie that
Make people
Nigerians
happy.
laugh and
Okay,
happy.
okay.
You get. But the girl was like, no, that she wants to create a kind of movie that tells a story about Africa that people can relate to and have a different perspective about Africa. That shouldn't always be laugh all the time. So having that in mind, like you already have, okay, this is what I want. But since you are still new now, you can't select any roles.
Yeah. So you see, now that it now boils down to you as an individual. You know, everybody, as an actor, they say you are your brand. So I am my own company. So what is the vision? What's the mission? How do I get there? Do you get? So coming up, it's advised that, first of all, I don't take just any role. Let me just put that out there. So that's the question to me. I don't take just any role because of what I have already put in my mind, what I have in my heart that I want, what I want to use my talent for, what I've told God I want to use my talent for, the kind of stories I want to tell. Even as an upcoming. So you see, that is why it is important that you're not doing this job just for the money. So if as an actor, that's the only thing, that's why is the only job you have, acting. So they'll just call you, okay, come and get one role where they here, come. You just go and you do it. That's on you. It's okay. People tell those kind of stories. People do those kind of things. It depends on what you want for your vision sorry, vision for your brand or for your career. Do you get? So for me, I know the kind of stories I want to tell. I want to tell stories that make people laugh. Do you get? I also want to tell stories that make people think. Stories that I don't want just this show for any kind of film. So it's okay. That's why you also need to have a side hustle. You get? So if you tell that role no, you can survive.
Yeah.
So it's when you don't have a side hustle. They say come and do this, you go and do this. Come and do this, come and do this. As upcoming, people say